Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Old school.
It's going to be stolen, I think, by the doctor. Yes, he's got it. Ray rocked the baby to sleep and slam dunk.
Stolen by Bird and the cut to DJ. Yeah! Buckle up for Kobe Bryant.
New era.
Oh! A jawbreaker! Curry way downtown. Bang!
It's all basketball.
A spectacular move by Michael Jordan.
Lace them up. It's time for 1010XL's Open Gym. Leading the break, here's R.J. Saunders.
And it is the basketball show for the basketball fan. It's going to have a little bit of a twist. We're going to talk Jaguars. We're also going to be talking college football. R.J. Saunders here with you, filling in for Rick Ballou during the hours of Hacker After Dark. Great show by one Ryan the Hacker Green, who filled in from 6 to 8. Dylan Denmark also in studio with me on a show we like to call Open Gym, right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Thank you for sharing your evening with us here on the Superstation. Now, your way onto the show, as always, 641-1010. We'll be taking calls in the second hour of the program, but the text line is always open to give your thoughts. You can also listen on our various social channels on the digital studios, wherever you are listening, whether that be on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. So I'll start with this. I think that criticism is needed in life, in the industries, in the businesses in which we work in, especially if it's coming from the right place. I've never thought that there's any problem in being critical if it means the person's going to become better for it. But this is where I want to ask you guys in the city of Jacksonville, the Jaguar fan base. You may be driving down beach. You're sitting at home on the north side. You're out east getting some food before you're about to go home because you just finished up work. Has our criticism of Trevor Lawrence been that affair? Now, before I continue with that, I do want to say this for me. I do believe that the tag of generational talent for Trevor Lawrence, as sizzled down, maybe it's gone completely. I'm open to listening to everyone's opinion on that. But it reminds me a lot of that of a Vince Carter. Remember Vince? North Carolina, bald head, jumps out the gym. MJ. He's MJ. He's going to come into the league. He's going to be MJ. Now, by the time I think we get to 2004 with Vince, I think that talk or comparison to Jordan was done. But you look at Vince Carter's career, he turned out to be a Hall of Famer, had a very good career. And we saw different instances of his career. At first, he was the high fly act, could get you a bucket at any time. Then became a solid three-point shooter for teams. Then became the mentor to the young guys, to the next generation. All that encompassed a Hall of Fame career. He gets inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Trevor Lawrence was the guy that was the promised child. And I get it. He was going to come to the roster. He's going to turn everything around. But it is hard to be big when you are in a world full of little. And I'm just talking about the past regimes here in Jacksonville. I think whoever it was in the building at first believed Urban Meyer was going to be our version of Jimmy Johnson. He's going to deliver those championships, and we got the promised son in Trevor Lawrence. Watch out now. Urban, to me, I feel he was worried about Urban. Wanted to get danced on at a bar. And he thought that the old way in which he was able to coach guys at Florida, maybe Ohio State, that would translate to the NFL. He said he had been studying the NFL. and maybe he could get guys to listen to him. He had been a winner on every level. Couldn't get away with what he got away with in college, in the professional ranks. So you move him out. Doug Peterson, I feel when we write the history of the Jacksonville Jaguars, we're really going to have to take a long look at what went wrong. However, remember the press conference? I know I got it right this time. Those were the words from Shad Khan. And there's a few people that I reached out to come on this station, come on our air, whatever show they wanted to, when Doug Peterson got the axe. And many of them were saying, I can't speak on the situation, but I don't think Doug got a fair shake. I don't think he got enough time. He should have got more opportunities. Jacksonville, you got it wrong. So you fired him. You also fired Balky. But it also felt like Doug lost the locker room, didn't it? The guys, at least for a good year, really didn't want to listen to this guy. And he himself also looked irritated. Neither of those situations are helping Trevor Lawrence. Now Trevor Lawrence is on coach number 3. And you're giving him a guy who I think he's going to be outstanding just from listening to him. However, everybody can win a press conference, right? We have to see it now on the field. But with this now being your third coach, we can say this of 2 out of Trevor's 3 head coaches he's had since he's been here in Jacksonville, we've never seen them be a head coach in the National Football League. But you've brought in now a new cast of characters here in Jacksonville. And the city seems excited for the most part. We're here at 1010XL. We read the text line. We listen to calls. We see you on the social media studios. Seems for the most part you guys are excited. It's a new thing. But doesn't this seem like this has to work? Because of those criticisms in which we've heard on and on and on and on again that you guys give Trevor Lawrence? I feel like his backside is on the line here, fairly or unfairly. And I get it. He got the big contract, and you got enough people in this station, outside the station, here in Jax, and parts unknown. We have to find out whether or not Trevor Lawrence is the guy. Just yesterday, I had a guy tell me, when it comes to Trevor Lawrence, I don't think anyone who has come to Jacksonville in the Lawrence era has given him an offense that was tailor-made for him. I'll go a step further. Trevor Lawrence hasn't had any stability here since he got to Jacksonville. But this is what calms me down when it comes to that of Liam Cohen, because he's all but assured something that I don't think any other coach, whether that be Doug Peterson or Urban Meyer, has ever brought up. And that's, we are going to build this thing around Trevor Lawrence. This is head coach Liam Cohen on what his plans are for the QB.
Trevor's an extremely talented football player. He's a quarterback in the sake of the word, right? When you watch his purest throw, I mean, that looks like what you really kind of want to build in a lab in a lot of ways, right? Tall, big, strong, athletic. Those are unbelievable things. And then you start to get to know him a little bit, right? You start to hear the humility and what he wants to bring to this city and to this organization. That's exciting, right? And that's where you looked at it like, man, he's willing. He's very much so capable. He's shown to do so before. Now, how do we help him around, right? How do we help around him be better in the run game, defend it a little bit better to make sure that, hey, we can maximize him to be at his best when his best is required.
Now, let me give you the other side of the coin. Before I see callers or before we see people on the text line, you're holding water for one Trevor Lawrence. That's 1010XL for you. I don't defend all of the decisions he makes on the field. Sometimes these double coverage throws, missed times, coverages. How many interceptions did he throw during training camp? Not a good look. Not something you want to hear out of a franchise quarterback who you're paying $275 million to. Not tucking the ball in when he decides to run. Not knowing when to slide. It does seem like he did a better job of that last year before the injury. I get it. The offensive line isn't what you want it to be, but that doesn't count for some of the mistakes in which he makes. Sometimes you got to take the sack, but he does want to be a guy who's a hero. Late game turnovers, head-scratching mistakes. And sometimes you want to look at the TV and just say, what the hell is this doing? And I feel that's one of the big reasons why I will see on the text line or in circles that just say Trevor Lawrence is not the guy. He's not it. I'm jumping off of the bandwagon of Trevor Lawrence. We need to bring somebody new in here. However, let Trevor Lawrence defend himself. Because sometimes it feels like he does have to put everything on his shoulders, or at least he was asked as to whether or not he feels that way. Here's the QB on whether or not he feels that sometimes he has to put things on his shoulders in order for the team to win.
That's part of playing quarterback. You know, you have those feelings sometimes, and you got to be able to play the game the right way at all times and make those calculated risk decisions, whatever it may be. There'll be times to do those too, but no matter the offense, you're going to have those situations come up where it's like you might feel like you need to make a play, but you don't. Just make the smart play. It depends. It's all situational based, right? If it's fourth down, if it's 4th and 10 at the end of the game, then that's different. You know, you're throwing into traffic, you're trying to make something happen, but that's part of playing quarterback, and I've grown a lot over the years of learning when's the right time to take those risks, when isn't, when's it worth it. But you're always going to have that. But the hope and the plan is to have less of those because you're on schedule. You know, you make the game easier. I think when you think of QB friendly, it's how you, what's the game plan, how you call it, what's the sequence of the calls, how the game flow goes, all those things. Like that's what I think helps a QB out.
I think this is the first time in Trevor Lawrence's entire career in which he's had several different coaches, different playbooks, different schemes, different philosophies. I think this is a lot for him. Yet again, this year is big for him. I think this is also big for guys like James Gladstone and Liam Cohen. So the NFL draft, this one's going to be a big one. Fair or unfair to the new regime who haven't even gotten their feet wet in the building. You have to now set the tone if you're going to build this around Trevor Lawrence. So what do you get? Is it an Ashton Genty? Do you think he's going to be able to maneuver around the offensive line we have currently? Get a receiver at 5. Get him all the offensive weapons he wants. That's cool, but if Trevor Lawrence is on his ass, 2nd and 3rd down, how good is the receiver? Get a lineman, an offensive lineman, well, okay. But do you think you have enough at wide receiver to where you believe that you can light up the scoreboard enough? Does this team have enough right now to where you can say they can win the AFC South Division again? They can be crowned champions. Trevor's been through a lot. Drama in the front office, drama with coaching staffs, an inept offensive line, or an offensive system for that matter. We always blame everything else. Physically, I think he does have the tools to be a pretty solid to very, very, very good quarterback. But he, Liam, James Gladstone, Tony Baselli, Shad Khan, everybody's got to be on the same page now. You have to be willing to sit this guy down and say, listen, this is your head coach. And mean it. This is your head coach. We're growing together with this. James Gladstone, Tony Baselli, Liam Cohen, we are doing everything we can to make you successful. Because you have to hear the fan base by now if you're in that building. They don't think he's the guy. There's a lot of them who don't. We made a mistake. That's how they feel. Show them different. If Baselli thinks that this is the guy that's going to get us over the hump, and that's why we paid him, if there are those of you who are on the South Side right now that believe this guy's going to get us over the hump, then you got to get it done. Because although you extended him, clock is ticking. And whatever you are defining as building this around Trevor, get that done in the draft. You feel like you got that partially done in free agency. Now cement that in the draft. I'm not saying that you have to be a Super Bowl contender this year. Not saying that you have to make a deep playoff run. But there has to be something where we're saying Trevor and this team is growing in the right direction. And there will not be another step back. Fair or unfair, the criticism, Dylan, of Trevor Lawrence?
Oh, it's all fair. One thing I would say is, you know, you go through high school and college, you rely on a lot of talent, and you can rely on talent so much in the NFL. And, you know, we all know he hasn't been dealt a good hand with Urban Meyer, and we all know that Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke could never see eye to eye on, you know, getting the guys needed to get a good draft and get guys around Trevor Lawrence. I mean, when he was hurt down the stretch 2 years ago, it was on his shoulders, and you provided no run game around him. Right. No offensive line to help him in the pass game or the run game. I wonder if this is a turning point for him. You know, you have a clean slate. Yep. Everything is new. And what are you going to do with it? Because talent's there. But so far up to this point, you've played like a middle of the road quarterback. So new coach, new offensive coordinator, all young guys, and we'll see here. I mean, and how much are they going to value the draft? I mean, it's still up in the air. You're going to get Mason Graham, and you're going to get offensive lineman. If you get an offensive lineman, that guy's starting day one.
Yes. You got to put him in the right situation now. That's all I'm hearing from this front office and head coach Liam Cohen. You got to put him in the right situation. This is a big year for him, whether he likes it or not. I feel that sometimes the criticism has been that affair. However, I don't know how many other quarterbacks would be dealt this hand and be able to come out as pure gold. But you let us know. 641-1010. When we come back, the Nico situation. Nico Malieva has me understanding to a degree why the older generation is a bit disgusted with the new generation. But I don't think this is all his fault. Let me explain on the other side. This is Open Gym.
It's more than a game.
No matter how talented you are, it still comes down to that brotherhood of playing for one another.
1010XL. It's why we play.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey man, what's that noise?
Do you hear it too? You can hear it, right?
Yeah, it's your air conditioner. It's like a grinding or a rattling.
And it's getting on your nerves, right? Like it's eating at your brain and you can't think straight? but it just keeps grinding and squeaking and taunting and nagging. You're not good enough. You're a failure. Why can't you be more like your sister, the lawyer?
Yeah, I don't hear that last part so much.
Yeah, but it's not cool, right, Jason?
It could definitely be cooler. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we can totally repair whatever that noise is and get your AC working smoothly and silently. We fix these things all the time.
So I won't be a failure?
Life should be enjoyed. If some irritating, broken air conditioner is making you crazy, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
From the driving range to the 18th green, it's Brunch with the Tour.
Well done.
You've got to be kidding.
Tour news, tips, and inside info brought to you by
Clearwater Irrigation, 8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
All right, fellas, I got to brag a little. I'm down 40 pounds thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss and keeping it off.
That's cute, Matt. I'm down 110 pounds. That's like losing a Backstreet Boy.
Okay, so I'm the rookie here. I just started, but I'm already down 13 pounds, and let me tell you, it feels good to see the results already.
That's the thing, man. Awaken 180 works. No shots, no meds, no gimmicks, just real food, real support, and real results.
The support team is a game changer because we all know it's so easy to get distracted. But with Awaken 180, you get your own coach and a plan that works with your lifestyle.
And free support for life.
Plus, no gym workouts required, which is great because let's be honest, I wasn't running wind sprints either.
25, 40, even 110 pounds. If we all can do it, so can you. Call 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com.
That's 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
Here's your 1010XL community calendar of local events and nonprofit groups helping people here at home.
You can help Micah's Place support domestic violence victims by playing in the Par for a Purpose golf tournament June 20th at the stunning Golf Club of Amelia Island. Register at micahsplace.org/golf.
City Rescue Mission provides life-changing support for the homeless. Find ways to get involved at crmjax.org.
If you could benefit from a grief and loss support group, call Haven Hospice at 279-1677.
You have healing power. Even writing a letter or volunteering can help heal a veteran. Find out more at healvets.org.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
You can find out how to share your community event at 1010XL.com.
Spring is in the air, and it's time for cool boats at hot prices. Come to the Jacksonville Spring Boat Show, April 25th, 26th, and 27th at Metropolitan Park. Don't miss killer deals on boats and accessories, plus fishing seminars, kids events, and more. The Jacksonville Spring Boat Show, presented by Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside. Come by boat and get in free. Tickets and info at boatjacks.com. That's boatjacks.com.
Direct from Broadway, MJ, the Tony Award-winning musical, is starting something all across America. Get tickets now to what the Washington Post calls a runaway hit. MJ the Musical, playing Jacksonville Center for the Performing Arts, April 22nd through 27th. Tickets at fscjartistseries.org.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Filling in for Rick Ballou, it's Open Gym. RJ Saunders, Dylan Denmark in the studio. Thank you guys for joining us this evening. We'll be filling in for Rick for the next 2 days as he enjoys his vacation. Brian the Hacker, Green Hacker After Dark on from 6 to 8 tomorrow and Friday. Xavier Lee from Princeton has now committed to Florida as the Gators looking to repeat as champions in college basketball. Great signing for them. I don't know how much money he is getting paid, but it brings us to the Nico Imanlieva situation. Seems like he couldn't come to an agreement on a contract. He wanted $4 million, reportedly. Tennessee not willing to give it. Said we'll give you 2.2, maybe 2.4 more money than what you'll probably see unless you're listening to the program now and you have $2.2 or $2.4 million. Can you make a donation to me and Dylan Denmark? Anyway, Kevin Garnett, he talked about there's this new lens in 2024 and in 2025 that we have to look through. And we can't see through the lens we had back then. It doesn't work for the kids of today. And it's the same lens that I feel like people who were in the 70s had to look at kids in the 80s. 80s had to look at it differently in the 90s with the 90s kids. And remember, this is the same Kevin Garnett who in the 90s turned down $121 million, I believe it was. Chump change. Because he wanted to have a much longer contract and he wanted to be the highest paid player in the league. Juwan Howard had gotten the 105. I believe Alonzo Mourning had gotten $100 million. Shaq with 118. Kevin Garnett wanted to be the highest paid guy. So I think he got $144 million. But to KG's point of the new lens, if this is the new lens, I don't like it. And I get it. I'm only 30 years old. But to me, it seemed that Nico got bad advice. This was a guy that was pushing the envelope. Whoever it was, whether it was him, his dad, his mom, someone gave him bad advice. And you pushed too far. Now, reportedly, he is committed to UCLA. Colin Cowherd says that this isn't about the money to him. This was about, quote, an offensive system from the Volunteers. And if that was the thing, then why not stay at Tennessee for the 2.4? What's the bigger story here? But the transfer portal is a huge thing now. There's guys coming in and out of that transfer portal that would love to get that amount of money. So if he were to say, well, listen, I believe I'm worth $4 million because, well, no one else is going to come to Tennessee. Seems like Tennessee made a stand in just saying, listen, with the transfer portal being what it is, it's going to be a guy that's going to transfer here. If we're offering him 2.2, 2.4, we can develop him. Maybe develop one of the young guys in which we have. Now, Urban Meyer, we won't get to the sound just because we want to have enough time to welcome on Tony Barnhart to talk more about this situation. He does talk about how it felt like he almost made an equivalency to that of the Luka Doncic situation. That Nico Harrison is basically saying many won't agree with the decision I made in trading Luka, but I have a duty to that of the University of Tennessee. Well, the Dallas Mavericks for Nico Harrison. He thinks Josh Heupel, if this goes south because you lose Nico Amalieva, you can't stand in the middle of the field and say, hey, we made a stand a couple months ago and said that Nico is not bigger than the program. And he shouldn't be. That's their right. And what does that say about Nico for a school to say, we'd rather not have him than have him on the roster or hold out because he wants to get more money? To those who may agree with the guys such as Ryan Clark, who said this is Mario Cristobal's fault because he paid Carson Beck. What does Carson Beck in the University of Miami have to do with Nico Amalieva and the University of Tennessee? Miami feels he's worth $4 million. We'll give him $4 million. Would Tennessee have given Carson Beck $4 million? I don't know. Let me know on the text line. Is UCLA going to give him $4 million? I don't know. What's going to be that final number? It's humble pie. I feel like he had to eat on this one. This is his first professional lesson. He'll learn it once he gets to the next level. We've had to learn it as being commoners down here in any business. businesses do have the right to say no. You ask for more money, they can say no. You can go on and take your talents somewhere else. Take your talents elsewhere. Feelings shouldn't be hurt. But was this right or wrong in Nico's opinion? From where Nico stood? And the old generation says, see, that's why. That's why we hate this transfer portal stuff. Well, if the NCAA was to give more of a governing body, let's honestly figure this out. Because Nico's not going to be the first, and he's certainly not going to be the last person this is going to happen to, where this becomes a big news story in the world of NCAA football. And even that is just college sports in general. This is not going to be the first story. Let's now try to get in front of this. Can Nico now get through this? That's going to be the interesting thing to see. And for the young people that feel that, the old generation, they don't get it. They don't get us. And maybe they don't, because they haven't been in a situation where you're handing them $1 million, $2 million, $3 million at their feet and saying, this is what we want you to do as a 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old. But the older generation now can look at this and say, But the story isn't over, and that's what I love. But there's a lot of questions that now need to be answered. And the NCAA does have to answer a couple questions themselves. But if Nico comes back and he plays for UCLA and he has a great season, or a solid one, in a 24-hour news cycle, this is forgotten in half a year. Or maybe it gets worse. And that's where the NCAA does have to get involved. And I do believe that this was not the straw that broke the camel's back, but it should have everybody nodding their heads. It should. At least in my opinion. But I would love to hear yours. 641-1010. But let's hear from Tony Barnhart, Mr. College Football. What he learned from this, and also his thoughts on next season in the world of college football. That comes up next right here on 1010XL.
Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish. And he's listening to the Nimnicht Outdoor Show.
With tips and stories.
Presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Every Saturday morning, 7 to 10.
On 1010XL.
Plumbing problem? AC acting up? Septic tank trouble? Don't waste time calling 3 different companies. Just call Duck Rooter. We offer plumbing, septic, and air conditioning services, making it easy for you to work with one trusted company and one simple build. Every department has highly skilled experts trained for the job. For fast, reliable service from a company that does it all the right way, call 904-862-6769 or visit duckrooter.com.
Are you ready for some exciting football action? Your Jacksonville Sharks take on the Massachusetts Pirates Saturday, April 19th. Get family 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 $10 vouchers, and a $20 Al's Pizza gift card, all for only $100. Don't miss the unforgettable Frisbee Dogs and keep an eye out for the Easter Bunny. A fun night for the kids. Get tickets at jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. 904-621-0700.
Prosser here. The Jacksonville Sharks are 3-0 and ready to make it 4-0 this weekend as your Jacksonville Sharks take on the Massachusetts Pirates this Saturday. Get our family 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 $10 vouchers, and a $20 Al's Pizza gift card, all for just $100. Don't miss the unforgettable Frisbee Dogs and keep an eye out for the Easter Bunny. For tickets, go to jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. And go Sharks! Go Sharks!
1010XL's track previews are brought to you by Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeast Florida. Be a Big.
Travis Hunter is an exciting two-way player whose world-class athleticism and ball skills help him shine on both sides of the field. Hunter is an instinctive natural football player with a feel for making the biggest plays at the biggest time. Jacksonville would need to make a decision on where and how to play Hunter if they drafted him with the 5th pick, but he's capable of making a good number of winning plays as a future star, no matter the choice.
Some people call it X. What? Some still call it Twitter.
Okay, I got it.
Whatever you call it, it's the best place for up-to-the-minute Jags coverage from 1010XL.
Hey gang, Prosser here, and it's always great when you can replace a problem with a promise. And let me get right down to it. When it comes to Chad and Sandy and selling your home, here's a promise that you can count on. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Now, more. Spring selling season is here. Rates are down. Activity's up. Now's the best time in years to sell your home. Some homes are sitting on the market, though, and hiring an expert who can maximize your equity and minimize hassle is the key. Those expert agents, and I'm recommending them to sell your home, Chad and Sandy Newman. There have been lots of you out there on the First Coast who are taking advantage. Take David and Heather in Fox Ridge. This is out in Orange Park. We wanted to move to Keystone Heights to get closer to family, away from the city. We heard Chad and Sandy on the radio and called. What you hear is true. We got multiple offers and sold in 3 days for $15,000 above asking price. Call the local experts I trust and recommend to sell my home and yours. Call Chad and Sandy, 414-6200. ChadAndSandy.com.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Ackerman Cancer Center, celebrating 10 years of excellence in cancer screening, diagnosis, and treatment. Always accepting new patients and 99% of all insurances. Call now to schedule a new consultation within 48 hours. Learn more at AckermanCancerCenter.com.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
A chipped windshield can turn into a big problem fast. Lauren Brooks here. Trust Novus Glass of Jacksonville for expert repair and replacement. Call 904-289-2905 for Novus Glass in Orange Park. 904-289-2905.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Our next guest is a legend in the business, and he is so gracious to give us a couple moments of his time. He is Tony Barnhart. He is Mr. College Football. Follow him on Twitter at Mr. CFB. He is a columnist for TMG College Sports. He's a contributor also to weekly SEC radio show on 104.5 The Zone in Nashville. Mr. Barnhart, thank you so much for giving us a couple moments. How are you?
Well, I'm doing very well. It's good to be with you.
Absolutely. Thank you for giving us a couple moments of your time. Just want to start on the Nico situation. Kind of what was your biggest takeaway from this whole saga in which we've seen?
Oh, that it was inevitable. That when you don't have any rules, RJ, you can't be surprised about anything that's going to happen.
Right.
And the opportunity was there, and the timing, as they say in politics, the optics aren't the best.
Right.
But I was not surprised that it happened, and it's going to happen again until we get rules where these guys are under contract, and I'm talking about the players and the schools
right.
are under contract, because you have to protect the rights of the players, you have to protect the rights of the institution, and we're not there yet. Maybe this makes it happen a little faster.
And that's really what I wanted to ask you, because I don't know if the NCAA wants situations like this continuously happening, because if they don't make any sort of movements or changes, I think we're going to see this in all spectrums of college sports, whether that be in college football, college basketball, or alike. So do you believe that the Nico situation may have the NCAA say, okay, let's try to get a governing body, probably try to put the hammer down here so that we don't see more situations like this arise?
Well, I don't have the confidence that the NCAA could run a one-car parade. Okay.
Okay.
I simply, they've been asleep at the wheel during this entire process. It goes all the way back to the Ed O'Bannon court trial where the NCAA was sat on their hands.
Right.
But what has to happen is that somebody, maybe it's the SEC, maybe it's the Big Ten, but maybe it's the college football playoff, which would be more likely a scenario, has got to put some rules in place. And for now, we may have one more year of this, but my hope is that we will someday have collective bargaining. And really, without collective bargaining, this situation is not going to get solved, and you're going to have more and more surprises like this.
He is Mr. College Football, Tony Barnhart, joining us here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. So I'm not saying maybe pick a side, but is there a side in which you lean on? I mean, Nico, as you said, he has all the power in which he can to do this until the NCAA says otherwise. But I also applaud a guy like Josh Heupel in the University of Tennessee saying, listen, if you guys don't like what we're here offering you, I mean, you know, you can really explore your options elsewhere. So, I mean, who do you more lean to when it comes to a situation like this, although it's hectic down the line?
Well, you really can't lean towards anybody on this. The fact of the matter is, I wish it had not happened. But the fact of the matter is, we live in a country where Nico and his family and his handlers have a right to ask whatever they want. There's no binding contract in place, so they're free to ask for anything they want. By the same token, the University of Tennessee is also free to say that doesn't work for us, and I'm sorry, we can't do that. And then what happens. But you have to recognize the rights of both sides. Now, for the fans, God bless them, I understand that, but you know they're not having to go to court.
Right.
You know they don't have to. They're not buried in lawsuits, which is what this is all about. That's why we've got to have some sort of antitrust situation, because if you don't have an antitrust exemption, which baseball had forever, if you don't have that, then there's going to be more. Right now, it's lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit, and guess what? College football, the NCAA are losing all of them, and that's going to continue.
Now that we have gotten the Nico situation out of the way, in terms of this conversation, I know this is going to really happen down the line here. I understand, even though he has committed to that of UCLA, I feel like there's going to be more stories like this again until the NCAA gets in front of this. With you being Mr. College Football and really understanding college football and the landscape better than anybody else, when we look forward to this college football season, is there a team in which you're looking at that you're interested in to see what they do this season that maybe is a fringe playoff team, or could be a team that could possibly win it all?
I think the best story, the most intriguing story of this college football season is what in the wild, wild world is going to happen at the University of Alabama. Okay. They were obviously, fans were disappointed, but we knew if the Alabama didn't make the playoff, their fans are going to be disappointed. I understand that. Same thing here. But in the second year where Kalen DeBoer finally has his offensive coordinator in place, it looks like Ty Simpson is going to be the quarterback, and so they need to be in a situation where they're at least in the playoff discussion. I just think it's an absolutely fact, given that it comes on the heels of Nick Saban, the greatest coach of all time. What happens in the second? The fans will always go, well, you know, it's his first year and it's his transition and all that, and that, you know, that's okay on year one, but year two, no, you're supposed to have it all figured out by year two, and so I just think it's going to be a fascinating story to watch all year. The SEC guys is going to be. I think it's going to be a lot like last year. There were a lot of really, really good teams in the SEC last year, but I don't think there were any great teams, and the playoffs kind of reflected that. And so I'm anxious to see if somebody emerges. You know, what's going to happen at Georgia with a new quarterback? What's going to happen with Florida? They finished strong wrong last year. South Carolina was playing as well as anybody down the stretch. And what in the world is going to happen to the Tennessee Vols? How is this all going to shake out? So a lot of great storylines in the SEC. Just not sure there's a national championship team there.
Absolutely. We are talking to a legend in the business, Mr. Tony Barnhart, Mr. College football columnist for TMG College Sports, joining us here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. So staying in the SEC, when it comes to that of the Florida Gators, how good can they be this season, in your opinion?
Well, they can be very good, but always remember that schedule. Okay, that schedule, it's the same schedule you had last year, but it's flipped. And so how is that going to work out? I mean, Lagway played just wonderful football last year, and the way that Florida finished, I think, was very encouraging if you're a Gator. But now it's time to see. So it'll be fun.
Is there any pressure on Billy Napier this year, in your opinion?
It shouldn't be. I thought they showed. You know, there's a time where a coach says, "Okay, I belong here. I deserve to be here. I belong here." And I think the way that Billy Napier handled that season last year, he's there. So I don't, in terms of his job, I don't see. You know, if he goes,
right,
he goes 2-10, okay, we're going to have that discussion. But based on what we've seen, no, I think Billy Napier made a great step forward last year.
Speaking of college coaches in the world of the NCAA, I think there was a huge interest to see what Deion Sanders was going to do once he got to the University of Colorado. I mean, you know, coaching high school football is one thing, playing in the NFL is another thing, but when you don't have that experience in the college game being a head coach, maybe there is sort of a culture shock there. And for the most part, it seems like he's been able to handle it well. But it seems like Coach Bill Belichick, this is almost, I mean, a new paradigm shift for him. I mean, he's won at the highest level in the NFL, and now the University of North Carolina is going to be asking him to win at the college level. Are you interested in seeing what Bill Belichick is able to do year one?
Absolutely, because I'm fascinated. Particularly, you know, most guys that coach in the pros and come back to college, you know, they've been in college a little bit. Bill Belichick has basically no experience in there, but
right,
you know, he is certainly with 6 Super Bowl championships, and the guy's a great coach. I mean, there's no question about it. And how does he handle? But based on everything that I've seen and read, they're giving him everything he wants. So does he go out? You know, does he look at Nico and the transfer portal? Ooh, wouldn't that be interesting?
Right.
And so, I think that Alabama's my number one story. But what Bill Belichick does at North Carolina, I spent a lot of time at North Carolina. I worked in the state for the newspaper in Greensboro for 8 years and loved it. So I'm sort of fascinated how that's going to unfold.
Final couple of moments with Tony Barnhart. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at Mr. CFB, joining us right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Does Carson Beck put Miami over the top this season? Wow,
great question. Great question. Carson Beck's got an NFL arm. I'm anxious to see how he does. You know, he had he had a pretty good year last year until the injury.
Right.
I'm anxious to see if he makes a big difference at Miami. You know, I put it this way: if he had Brock Bowers and those guys,
right,
if he had the Georgia wide receivers, Ladd McConkey and those guys, he does pretty well.
Right. Absolutely. Before we let you go, Mr. Barnhart, tell us about your book, The 19 of Green, before we get you out of here.
Well, we released it last year. It didn't get a whole football season with it, but it's the story of the 1970 Greene County Tigers. That's my high school, and I played in the first integrated football team in the history of Greene County High School, which is located between Atlanta and Augusta, almost halfway on I-70 on I-20. And it's the story about a bunch of guys who never spent any time together. We had a all-black school, all-white school. We merged in the fall of 70 to form our football team. And when spring practice was over, we only had 19 players, 12 white, 7 black.
Wow.
And it's the story of about the relationships and the fact that we won 7 out of our last 8, made the playoffs. But that's not what the book's not about football. It's about the fact that 50 years after we played our last game together, the quarterback on our football team, Charles Turner, who came over from the Floyd T. Corey High School, the black high school, he's my best friend. I sent him a text message today. And we were both inducted into our high school's Ring of Honor about 2 years ago. And that's been a big joy. So it's about guys growing and learning how to get to know each other, and now we have homecoming every year. We get together, and it's a lot of fun. So I'm very proud of it. I've written 6 books, and by far this is the most gratifying book I've ever written.
Now, where can everybody find the book?
Real easy. Go to Amazon, search the 19 of Green, and they'll ship it right to you.
It should be a great read. I'm definitely going to pick it up myself. I would love to read the story. And that is Tony Barnhart, Mr. College Football. Make sure to follow him if you haven't already at Mr. CFB on Twitter. He's also a columnist for TMG College Sports. So gracious to give us a couple moments of his time here on the program. Tony, thank you so much, and we'll do this again down the line.
Okay, you bet. Take care.
There he goes. Tony Barnhart, Mr. College Football. A lot of questions going on with that Nico Imaliava situation. I would love to know, 641-1010, what do you think about the entire situation? When does the NCAA get involved? Does another story like this have to happen? Does it take a year, 2 years? NCAA is dragging their feet. Now you've turned this into, if not already, into the wild, wild west. It's only going to get more hectic unless you rein this in. When they rein it in, don't know yet. However, Dylan, what were your takeaways from the Nico situation?
I mean, nobody won. Tennessee didn't win. The quarterback didn't win. And Josh Heupel's not going to win. And Tennessee's going to go in the portal and get a quarterback. This is going to be the poster child for the NIL and kids wanting more money, and they're not going to get it, which, by the way, is happening across everywhere in college football. At major Division I, at the FCS level, kids are getting advice saying that they're getting X amount, and then they hop in the portal and they're getting half of it, and they're being told they're going to get a car when the car is being leased. And it's just, there's all kind of things that are going on behind the scenes that, that we don't really know. And I mean, it's unfortunate, but I mean, like Tony Barnhart said, it's the inevitable. I mean, you're having high school kids now get paid and for doing athletics. This is the NIL world, and before, unless Congress or the NCAA gets a commissioner, which probably is not going to happen, things like this are going to continue to happen.
Now, you're the college football guy here on the program. Heck, I mean, here at the entire radio station. How big of a hit was this to college football, this situation?
I mean, you mean to, like, as a fan?
As a fan. As a fan. Like, as a fan, seeing this happen, I mean, also with the NCAA, I mean, I understand you're now giving these kids, I mean, full autonomy in what they want to do, how they want to control their NIL lives, what schools in which they want to go to. But having something like this, thinking that maybe you've not created a perfect system, but maybe a fair one, it doesn't seem, at least in my opinion, that you can really sit back, whether as a fan or as the NCAA at large, and say, this is okay.
No, and I think a lot of people this just adds, it kind of adds to the point of fans just kind of tuning out. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure I don't know if you've seen or not, the spring game attendance.
Is it down?
Oh, a lot. Florida had 56,000, but a lot of it had to do with they celebrated the national championship team for basketball at halftime. But I mean, Georgia's having theirs on Saturday, so we'll see what they do. But a lot of the schools like Alabama and Ohio State, Georgia, they used to get 80, 90, 100,000. Now everybody had less than 40 except for Florida. So a lot of these games are still free of admission. So you're seeing a lot of people tune out. The National Signing Day used to be a national holiday.
Yes.
Now it's no longer. And you're having the spring games now. People are tuning it out. And I just wonder how far does this go? And college football right now, it feels like this is like the lost decade. Like documentaries are going to be made on Rashada and Nico and everything going on. And we're going to have more that we don't know about that go on behind the scenes. So hopefully, college football can get through this rough patch and then they can move forward and adapt something like the NFL model where, you have contracts, athletes have contracts just like coaches, and spring football is so early. You don't have it in the NFL,
right?
And if we're going to adapt it, we need to get rid of it and adapt more of the OTAs in the summer and go on from there. So it's rough right now, but I still feel like college football is still far and away the second biggest sport in America,
right?
And I still think that they can overcome it.
There is light at the end of the tunnel, according to one Dylan Denmark, and for me, it gives me hope. Let's hope the NCAA does follow suit and do something. Right now in the play-in tournament, the Miami Heat enjoying a 71-47 lead just starting the second half here. If Miami holds on to the victory, they will be facing the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta for the right to have the number 8 seed and face the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round. Speaking of the NBA playoffs, when we come back, the NBA playoffs are upon us. We have a few series that are already set beginning on Saturday and Sunday. Let's discuss that as well as the league's biggest stories next on Open Gym with Kurt Heelan of NBC Sports.
Draft season is here, and so is Mia's Mock Draft Mondays. And this year, we're powered by One Night Taco Stand. Each week, I'll unveil a new set of possible targets for the big cats on the 1010XL social channels and 1010XL.com. Let's taco about it on 1010XL.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 15th.
Hello, I'm attorney Malcolm Anthony. Being charged with domestic violence can turn your life upside down. If you're in trouble, call me, Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
Friendly competition meets great futures. It's the Birdies and Bounces Tournament presented by the Mackenzie Noel Wilson Foundation, Friday, May 9th at the Yards. Where else can a pickleball tournament, 15 holes of golf, food, fun, beverages, raffles, and great activities help a worthy organization like the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida, where 59 clubs serve nearly 6,000 youth daily. For tickets and team registration, email Charlie C. at bgcnf.org.
It's the way the game was meant to be heard. Raw, real, and right in your ear.
Right side coming! Touchdown! Yeah!
Feel the energy on 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. There was a time when if you handed me a bread basket at a restaurant, you better watch your fingers. Pizza, pasta, bread. Carbs were absolutely my weakness. I'd be lying if I said they didn't have me hooked. Then Awaken 180 came into my life. I've been down every diet road there is, but this is different. It's not just another diet. It's a total reset of how you see food. You know that carb craving that we all accepted as normal? That's gone for me now. Don't get me wrong. I still enjoy the good stuff, but here's the difference. I no longer feel like I need them. So when the server puts that bread basket on the table, I just smile, sit back, and say, nah, I'm good. That feeling of control is all thanks to Awaken 180. I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180. Hacker lost more than 110. Baloo is on his way, and you can lose whatever you want to lose. It doesn't matter what your goal weight is. Awaken 180 weight loss will get you there quickly and safely. It's a clear path to success without disappointment. Awaken 180 has changed my life, and it will change yours too. Give them a call at 844-346-1800 or go to awaken180weightloss.com. Trust me, you'll thank yourself.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. You've heard us talk about it. Window World, the #1 window replacement company in the USA, selling over 1 million windows each year for the past 8 years.
That's a lot of satisfied customers and why J.D. Powers has awarded Window World Best in Customer Satisfaction 3 out of 4 years.
Window World stands behind their slogan, simply the best for less. With Window World, you get top quality windows at a price that leaves more of your money in your bank account, and you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement industry. When compared to our competition, there is none. See for yourself. Call the competition. get quotes from them. But before you buy, get Window World's free estimate and compare the quality of the windows and the price.
You'll see.
And when your new Window World windows are installed and they're saving you money on your energy bills, if anything goes wrong with those windows, Window World and I will be there to make it right. That's my guarantee.
Call Window World today. Start saving money on your new windows and your energy bills and take vacation with your savings. Window World, online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors and siding.
Spring is in the air, and it's time for cool boats at hot prices. Come to the Jacksonville Spring Boat Show, April 25th, 26th, and 27th at Metropolitan Park. Don't miss killer deals on boats and accessories, plus fishing seminars, kids events, and more. The Jacksonville Spring Boat Show, presented by Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside. Come by boat and get in free. Tickets and info at boatjacks.com. That's boatjacks.com.
Yo, E.T. here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar, Twin Peaks. Scratch kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge. Come on, somebody.
Direct from Broadway, MJ, the Tony Award-winning musical, is starting something all across America. Get tickets now to what the Washington Post calls a runaway hit. MJ the Musical, playing Jacksonville Center for the Performing Arts, April 22nd through 27th. Tickets at fscjartistseries.org.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is John Johnson with First Coast Recycling. We buy junk cars. If you have a car or a truck that you're looking to get rid of, then look no further. If you absolutely, positively have to get that car out of there, accept no substitutes. Fast cash is at your fingertips. Just call First Coast Recycling at 904-294-1659 today for a quick and easy quote. Come on, let's take your driveway back.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
I'm trying not to cough, I promise you, because I know our next guest is also trying not to cough. But whether sick or well, he always finds a way to speak with us on the program about the National Basketball Association. He's Kurt Heelan of NBC Sports. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at Basketball Talk. He is the lead NBA writer and managing editor at NBCSports.com. Kurt, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. There's a limited chance cough during this. I feel good.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for giving us a couple moments of your time on the program. So, I mean, we're headed into the playoffs. It's the most wonderful time of the year out west and in the east. We'll have a few good series on our hand, but is there a series right now for you that intrigues you more than the others?
There's a couple of really good ones, you're right, but I think the best first-round series is the LA Clippers and Denver Nuggets. Everybody is understandably slow to get on the Clippers bandwagon because that has been a bumpy ride over the years. And, you know, there's this just – if I pick them, when does Kawhi get hurt, right? It's really challenging. But the Clippers over the last month have been as good as anybody in the league. They have been phenomenal. Kawhi Leonard, last 20, 25 games, has looked like Kawhi of old on both ends of the floor. He's getting to his spots. He is defending. He's got the long arms and the anticipation. James Harden can be James Harden for a moment. We saw it against Golden State over the weekend. Was that Friday night, right? No, Sunday in the big game, where they're like, it gets to overtime, and he's like, all right, I'm just going to take over. And he scores 12 points in the overtime. He can do that for a stretch. Zubats is underrated. I'm picking the Clippers in 7, but I think this is a 6 or 7 game series either way that's really draining for both teams.
Now, you look at teams such as the LA Clippers, who they have completely seemed to turn it around, especially the last half of the year. I'm also looking at teams, and I'm rubbing my head, as I say this, but the Los Angeles Lakers, maybe if they decide, to turn it on, they could be a team that's in the mix of winning an NBA championship. I also look at a team like Cleveland, but right now, I mean, it seems like it's a two-man race between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Boston Celtics. But are there teams such as the Lakers or the Clippers or the Cavs or the Nuggets that you believe are in the mix with the Celtics and the Thunder to win the NBA title this year?
In the East against Boston, it really is Cleveland is the only team with a shot. And I don't think they can beat peak Boston, but Boston's not going to cakewalk to the finals like they did last year or through the finals, right? I mean, remember in the finals, for people who remember Porzingis had to miss half the series and he came back for the final game and he wasn't himself. He just wanted to be out there.
Right.
That happens this time around. Cleveland will beat them. Like, the gap isn't that big. And they, it's the same with whoever comes out of the West. The West, I think, is tighter. I think Oklahoma City is the best team. I've picked them to win it all this year, but I think Golden State and or the Lakers, whoever comes out of that series in the second round, assuming they face off. But if one of them makes it, and I think those teams are a threat are good enough to be a threat to Oklahoma City.
He is Kurt Heelan of NBC Sports. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at Basketball Talk, joining us here on Open Gym on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Kurt, the NBA script writers, the basketball gods, they gave us some drama to close out the season. I mean, you had the firing of Michael Malone. You also have the firing of Taylor Jenkins. Just how shocked were you at both of those moves when they were announced at the time in which they were?
It's the timing, right? That was more stunning than in both cases. There had been rumors about changes coming, about frustration in the locker room, but it was just when Memphis fired Taylor Jenkins with 2 weeks to go in the season, 3 weeks to go in the season. There was just a lot of, why are you doing this now?
Yeah.
Like, what's the advantage to doing this now? And by the way, they've not played well, and I don't think it. I think their front office was hoping this would be a jolt for the team, and it seemed to destabilize them even more. They were headed to the play-in Friday night to try to play for their right to get smacked around by Oklahoma City in the first round. It didn't work out for them. And then in comes Denver, like, hold my beer, man. You thought that was late.
Right.
And again, I that's a little more stable situation in that they've got Jokic, and this is a team that's won a title. Look, they've got the best player on the planet. They've won a title, and if Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon step into their familiar roles and play to the level they're capable of, this team is a threat in the West. So it's not going to be as dire immediately, except that they do get the Clippers. And I think that they're just going to hurt them a little there. But it's the timing that throws both of those things off for me. Like, I just don't get – just wait till the season ends at this point. Like, it's not that big a deal.
Right. Now, another weird thing to me, Kurt, was this whole, darkness press conference that Nico Harrison decided to have. What were your thoughts on that press conference? And do the Mavs ever recover from this?
Well, ever is a long time, but not for a while. They've angered the fan base, and at the end of the day, whether you're talking about Dallas Mavericks or the Jacksonville Jaguars or, name your sport. I think college is a little different because of the loyalties to the university, but any professional team, it's an entertainment business.
Yeah.
People are paying money to go root for you and be entertained by you. You can only piss them off so many times before that starts to come back and bite you. And this is trading away one of the 5 best players in the world when healthy. Entering his peak, he's 26. He's just entering his prime.
Yeah.
I don't know how you didn't see this coming. And the press conference yesterday, look, I don't think he said anything that was shocking. He defended his choices.
Yes.
Which is what he's going to do. But you and I know this, and it's a general rule of thumb. Look, man, before I did this, as a young Cub reporter, look, man, I did police beats. I did government beats. I've done all of it. I've been yelled at by congressmen. If you're conducting at any level, if you're conducting press conferences where you're stacking the room with the people that like you and avoiding the people that don't, and in this case, not allowing cameras, you are hiding something. Like you are you're trying to minimize the damage, and you need – man, if you're going to make the trade, if you're going to actually trade Luka Doncic and kind of try to leak that he's not my guy, he doesn't stay in shape. He's, way to light a fire under him, by the way. But if you're going to do that, then walk in front of cameras and own it.
Yes.
Right? Like at least go out there and own that move. If you're really going to do that. I'll tell you what, man, if they don't get out of the play-in, and by the way, Lakers probably going to reach the second. I don't know. Minnesota's a tough matchup. That's a really good series. But like the Lakers are still playing in May, and the Mavericks don't make the play-in. The pressure to make a change just keeps mounting on ownership. I don't know that they're going to do it immediately because they don't want to be seen as caving like that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be grab your torch and pitchforks in Dallas. I mean, I already know that it is already, but it'll be more so if the Lakers are still playing.
You can't trade away especially in the NBA. You really just can't trade away a franchise icon, let alone one entering their prime. That's the NBA doesn't have the financial constraints and the same restrictions, and even football. Though I was going to compare it to football, but and I'm not letting Aaron Gordon they didn't. I'm sorry, the Packers, for all the issues, they didn't let Aaron Rodgers go till it was late in the career. Man, you don't let these guys go in their prime.
You do not trade supernovas. That's what I said on Sunday. You just don't trade 25-year-old supernovas. It's still head scratching what Dallas decided to do, and to double and triple down on it. Is definitely something I will never understand. As we continue to talk with Kurt Heelan of NBC Sports, make sure to follow him on Twitter at Basketball Talk for the latest that's going around the league. Speaking of changes, you did have the New Orleans Pelicans make a change in their front office. Joe Dumars is now going to head the ship. But when you talk about franchise guys and franchise pieces, I mean, Zion Williamson reportedly could be a guy that's on the move. I understand that this team is looking to rebuild, but, I mean, are you giving up that early on Zion Williamson? Or, do you feel like you need to make a clean break in order to start a rebuild the way in which you want it?
The report, how should I put this? What sources have told me from around the league, and I know I'm not the only person saying this right now, is the marching orders that came down for Dumars when they hired him was, keep Willie Green as coach, even though he's not the most popular guy in that locker room.
Yeah.
Keep Willie Green as coach, trade Zion. And I think you're going to see both of those things this summer. You're going to see Zion get moved for – look, you're only going to get so much.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's teams willing to take a swing on him because when he played the 30 games he played this season, he played 30 out of the 82.
Yeah, right.
But in those 30 games, he was it 24 and 10? I forget the exact numbers. He's brilliant when he plays.
Yes.
He still has the explosion. Actually, it's the thinnest he looked up until he got injured.
It was.
Like everything looks great when he's on the floor, but he's got 3 years and $126 million, I think it is, still on the deal. Money. If you're a team kind of in the middle of, you're good, but you're not really threatening the teams at the top and you don't really have a path there, somebody's going to take that swing. Because if it comes together, it's brilliant. But it's a kind of a desperation swing, man. And they're not going to get everything they want back or as much as they hope back in New Orleans, but they are at least going to reset. And they've got good players. Like Trae Young Trey Murphy is a good player.
Yes.
They've got some good Herb Williams. Eventually they'll get DeJounte Murray back. He'll miss Achilles, so he'll miss a chunk of next season.
Yes.
They've actually drafted their other moves that by David Griffin, Yves Missi, the guy they drafted last year, and everybody's like, ooh, like good. Like they keep making good role moves. They're going to retool this thing not to be around Zion, and that will be interesting because New Orleans is a tough market to.
That's what I was thinking
There
about.
aren't
too.
stars flocking to move there.
No.
And as free agents, and if they're not drafting those guys, I don't quite know how they get them.
Now, another shocking when it comes to moves, a shocking but maybe not so shocking announcement is the Suns and Kevin Durant are going to work together to find another team. Since leaving Golden State, it's really been an interesting saga for Kevin Durant. Really hasn't seemed to find a place that he can call home. Nope. And I mean, much rather, win a championship in. But if you could look into your crystal ball for us, Kevin Durant is landing where next season?
The smart money would be Houston.
Okay.
But that comes with the caveat of I like the way Houston – first off, I really like Houston's young core.
I do.
Secondly, I really like the way Raphael Stone has handled this, which is from the trade deadline when they could have gone after Durant or a bunch of other guys, they said, nope, we want to see what this group does. We want to take this core, which is the number 2 seed in the West and loaded with young athletes. We want to take them to the playoffs and see what happens and see where we're at, which is what Oklahoma City did a year ago. Got there and said, wow, we need some toughness. And then, they went out and get Isaiah Hartenstein and they come back and look like a juggernaut. They realized where they were and what they needed to adjust, and they did.
Right.
They picked up Alex Caruso. Like they really had a great offseason.
Yeah.
That's where Houston is. They're like, all right, where do we need? If they get bounced in the first round by the Warriors, and bounced, I still think, again, I think this is a 6 or 7 game series that Houston can win.
Right.
With their defense. But if their half-court offense and but what they lack is, and I'll ask you, man, 2 minutes to go in the game, you need to go get a bucket. Who's your guy?
It really feels like they like Amen Thompson, but I don't feel he's there yet.
No.
Am I giving it to Jalen Green?
Yeah, Jalen Green is probably your best pure wing shot creator. Right. Shengun is brilliant as kind of a poor man's I hate to use this phrase.
I hate that. Yeah, I hate it too.
But he's kind of a poor man's Jokic in style of play.
Right.
But he's not the guy who you create through.
No.
Durant could be that guy. If that's what they're lacking, then and they certainly have the young players and bevy of picks to go get him and make that deal work. So that's the one everybody's watching. But if Houston beats Golden State in the first round and guys start to step up, maybe they don't jump in, or they don't jump in with an offer that's that interesting. And maybe Miami, Minnesota has been mentioned. If they lose to the Lakers in the first round, do they kind of, hey, we traded Cat, and maybe that wasn't the best move, and how do we pivot here? That's one to watch. And there might be some others out there that I'm forgetting off the top of my head. Those are the names I've heard.
Okay.
But Durant, it has to be. Durant wants an extension wherever he goes, and this is mutual. This is going to have to be somebody he wants to go to, where he feels he can contend and fit in with that team.
Finishing up our conversation with Kurt Heelan of NBC Sports at Basketball Talk is where you can find him on Twitter. So before we let you go, I do understand, or would like to be of the understanding, and I know you're going to get a good laugh out of this, that the Miami Heat Big Three was never really a Big Three, right? You agree with Rich Paul?
Did he really say that?
He did. He said that they were not a Big Three.
What was he trying to spin there? That it was all LeBron? That it was, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He went after Chris Bosh. He basically says that Chris Bosh was more of a role guy, and he fit into a role, and he was very professional in it. And I don't know if he was trying to say if it was a 2-man crew and you added Bosh. I don't know.
But Bosh was a 20-10 juggernaut who went to that situation, realized what Miami needed, which was him to be able to step out and shoot the three more and space the floor so that LeBron and Wade could drive the lane. So he learned how to do that better and became that. He also again, this was one of the top 5 scorers in the league a couple times, if I remember right. But like a guy who's getting 25, 26 a game said, no, I'll score less to make this work. And by the way, I'll become the best defensive pick and roll big in the league so we can shut guys down. Like, he absolutely was part of the big 3, and he was the guy who said, all right, what do we need to do to win? I'm going to change my game to fit that.
It was hilarious. And I have to watch the entire interview just to see, the context in it. But, listen, Twitter and NBA Twitter is ablaze with the fact that Rich Paul said, I think it was on the Pat McAfee show, talking about how.
Well, that's possible.
Yeah, the Miami Heat big 3 was not a big 3. Definitely would like more context to that, and I wish I definitely had.
It honestly sounds like something Rich Paul would say. He's loyal to his guys, and
sure is.
Look, man, I don't know that we'll ever see. Well, I shouldn't say that because the players will be different, and maybe Wemby or Wembyama reaches that scale. But the best player I've ever got to see live was Miami era LeBron. Like that. Oh yeah. That was and. Man, well, I guess I saw Magic as a kid, and Jordan was in there, but like, especially my 15 years now covering the league, like, there's nobody as good as Miami LeBron. He was so good.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work if you don't have the complementary pieces. And Wade being willing to, after that first year, take just half a step back and let LeBron be LeBron, and Bosh reworking his game. And by the way, good role players. And that Spoelstra coach guy turned out to be okay.
He turned out to be a pretty darn good coach and doing a great job.
He's having a good night tonight.
Yeah, he's definitely having a good night tonight as the Miami Heat currently have an 84-67 lead over the Chicago Bulls. It's always great to go out to the West Coast. It's always great to be talking with my friend Kurt Heelan of NBC Sports. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at Basketball Talk. Kurt, thanks so much, and we will definitely be doing this again as the playoffs are just right around the corner.
I look forward to it, man.
There he goes, Kurt Heelan, the lead NBA writer and managing editor at NBCSports.com. The NBA going to be coming back on NBC next season. We'll be hearing that song again, Round Ball Rock. I know everybody loves that, right? The phone lines, text line open. We will get to your comments next right here on Open Gym.
From the edge of your radio to the edge of your seat. Showtime! Feel the excitement of live play-by-play.
And this place is rocking right now.
On 1010XL.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
You lost your swing. We got to go find it.
It's your Saturday morning swing adjustment. Grip it and rip it. Get the golf tips and talk to take your game to the next level. The Edwin Watts Golf Hour. Saturday mornings at 10 on 1010XL.
Get more Gators on the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists with new episodes every Friday. Subscribe and listen by searching for 1010XL's Gator Bites podcast wherever you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my success with back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get Zero Resified and take 25% off all services. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com and tell them Hicken or 1010XL sent you.
Zero Res.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Florida heat is no joke. Is your air conditioner ready for it? At Duck Duck Air Conditioning, we've got a crazy offer just for you. We're giving away free AC inspections to our wonderful customers who now call and schedule. One of our expert techs will come look at your AC unit and make recommendations to ensure it's running at peak performance. But you must act today. A deal this good won't last forever. Call 904-862-6769. Duck Duck Air Conditioning. DuckDuckAC.com. Any required repairs are not included in the inspection.
If someone you love needs a pick-me-up, then it's time to get serious about it and send them a Kuhn floral arrangement. Max Fink here with 1010XL. You'll be assured of quality delivery, that's for sure. Log on and order online at KuhnFlowers.com.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise in towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
We appreciate you, the city of Jacksonville, so much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to listen to us talk about the world of sports here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. We're filling in for Rick Ballou. We're just in the 8 to 10 time slot. Hacker will be covering Rick Ballou's hours from 6 to 8 on Thursday and Friday. We'll have a great show lined up for you tomorrow, as we'll have Cleo Lemon on the program. We'll talk a bit of Magic Talk with Dante Marchitelli, host as well as sideline reporter for the Orlando Magic. And we'll also have Eric Edholm as the NFL Draft. Seems like you blink and it's already right here, telling us who are some draft picks to watch out for, who the Jags take at 5. Could the Jags be trading out of 5? Nobody knows yet, right? Definitely going to find out from Eric Edholm tomorrow right here on Open Gym. Phone lines are open. Text line is open, as well as the digital studios. The 314 says, yo, it's awesome that we got some NBA coverage. Thank you. We'll have more NBA coverage next Sunday. Open Gym is normally a Sunday show. We cover the NBA from 11 to noon, so make sure to tune in there if you want some more NBA talk with the NBA playoffs right ahead. I'm a diehard Pacers fan. I haven't listened, so I don't know if you touched on it, just tuned in. But I think the Pacers are so slept on, and I think they have a real chance of winning the Eastern Conference. What say you? What say me? That's an uphill battle to climb. I do believe that they beat the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round. I think that goes 6. I think if you're looking at slept-on teams in the East, they may be the most slept on. I mean, you look at the Knicks, and it seems to me that Boston, Cleveland, not scared. I don't even think Detroit's scared for that matter. And they face New York in the first round. I mean, it definitely seems like New York put all their chips on the table when they acquired Mikal Bridges, and you also acquired Karl Anthony Towns, and you're saying, listen, I think with Jalen Brunson as well as OG Anunoby that we can be a team that can win the NBA Finals this year. And they're the 3 seed, but it doesn't feel like they are 3 seed, right? Indiana, I think they get to the second round. If they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and allow me to look at the NBA bracket for the playoffs. So they're in the bracket with Cleveland. If you beat Cleveland in the second round and you go to the Eastern Conference Finals against who you assume would be the Boston Celtics, and you defeat Boston, because I've totally slept on Indiana myself. I'm not going to lie to you. I've totally slept on Indiana. But this is why we love the NBA playoffs, right? I mean, all you have to do is be hot. That's all you have to do. But normally the best team is going to win. Do I think they're better than a Cleveland? The way Cleveland started out this year and it's finished this year? Don't know. I don't know. But this is why we have fandom. This is why we have fandom. All right. UFC, KFC, Anthony, Lakers in 5. That's what I'm saying. Lakers, don't let me down. Please, please, please don't let me down. Let's look at the YouTube chat here. When it came to Trevor Lawrence, has Trevor ever had a legitimate line? I don't think he ever has. See, that's the thing with me. I don't think he's ever had a legitimate line. I think he had some legit receivers, and you've decided to let 2 of his safety nets go. So you're really now going to trust that of Parker Washington, that of De'Ami Brown, along with Brian Thomas Jr. But a video came out today, and I believe Dylan and Hacker spoke on it yesterday. There was one guy who they didn't mention, and that's Gabe Davis. Does Liam Cohen and company trust that Gabe Davis can be a guy that can be a legitimate threat for this Jacksonville Jaguars team and for Trevor Lawrence? And I think that they're going to draft a wide receiver here in the NFL draft with your first 4 picks. But you need an offensive line to protect Trevor, and that's something I don't think he's had since he's gotten here. There's been no sense of stability here since Trevor Lawrence has gotten here. And now you are on your 3rd head coach. That has to do something to a player. That would do something to us, and we work here in the real world. If you had boss after boss after boss after boss after boss, and you've worked in one place, what are we doing here? Get this guy an offensive line. You do also need to get him weapons. I understand that's important. I feel that Jacksonville Jaguars are going to do that here in the draft, but you have to protect your interest. Let's see if they do that with Trevor Lawrence this season. Give this man a line and a target, and he'll prove himself. Another guy says winning cures all. Yes, but you have to now put winning around Trevor. Generational talent. As I said, I don't know if that's the conversation anymore. I don't know. Maybe some people still think that he can. Maybe there's somebody here on the text line. Maybe there's someone here in Jacksonville that's listening to us and says, I still think he's a generational talent. You just haven't put the pieces around him yet. Then put the pieces around him. By hook, by crook, by life's board of directors, by Shad Khan's whim. Put the winning pieces around him. And then see what this guy can do. I don't know if you can just put offensive weapons around him and say, we got him all the offensive weapons we could get him. And he's still on his backside. 2nd down, 3rd down. It's a 4th and 7. Now you're going to hand the ball off to Travis Etienne. Oh, he goes for -2 yards. Punt! I'm tired of seeing that Sunday after Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. And Dylan is tired of me when I come into the studio and say, how did we lose? And it's like, dude, you ask me this every week. It's the
like
same
asking,
thing.
Why did you and your girl break up? Well, take a seat, man.
Something has to change here. And you hope that it's winning. You hope that winning does cure all here. And I'm not asking you to win a Super Bowl year one. I'm not asking that. If Liam Cohen does that, my goodness, put his name in the Ring of Honor. Retire Trevor's jersey right then and there. It's going to take time. It's definitely going to take time. If you can show some sense of improvement year one, and then no step backs year two. That's what happened with Doug Peterson. We thought we were taking a huge step forward. 2022, 2023, whew. Then it capitulated from there. He's gone. It can't happen this time. There's too much money on the line. I think Trevor's going to be fine, though. That's something we'll have to see, though, in the fall. We'll continue with your texts. We'll also take any calls, if anybody has any. 641-1010. Give us your comments on the show right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
1010XL's running game takes a giant step forward.
Well, Fred Taylor is the whole package.
Fred Taylor joins Dan and Jeff on the drill. Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins and Monahan Jewelers.
Welcome back, everybody. Okay, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. Charles.
6.
Oh, so close. Betty for the steal.
What about the bank that helps you reach your financial goals? Synovus.
Let's see, judges. Yes, looks like we have a winner.
That's a number?
Sorry, Charlie. Remember, a solid financial future doesn't happen by chance. Talk with Synovus about your potential today. Brought to you by Synovus Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. The number was 4.
Tired of seeing the signs of aging? Spring is here, a time to renew. I'm Dr. Mark Capel, a board-certified dermatologist, here to help you look and feel your best with minimal to no downtime. Rejuvenate your skin, strengthen your core, and sculpt your body with advanced face and body treatments designed to restore your youthful glow and confidence. Just in time for spring and summer. A healthier, more fit you starts now. Visit dermagnify.com and step into spring looking and feeling your best.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Take the game with you.
What a turn of events.
Radio play-by-play is where you are. 1010XL.
All right, fellas, I got to brag a little. I'm down 40 pounds thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss and keeping it off.
That's cute, Matt. I'm down 110 pounds. That's like losing a Backstreet Boy.
Okay, so I'm the rookie here. I just started, but I'm already down 13 pounds, and let me tell you, it feels good to see the results already.
That's the thing, man. Awaken 180 works. No shots, no meds, no gimmicks, just real food, real support, and real results.
The support team is a game changer because we all know it's so easy to get distracted. But with Awaken 180, you get your own coach and a plan that works with your lifestyle.
And free support for life.
Plus, no gym workouts required, which is great because let's be honest, I wasn't running wind sprints either.
25, 40, even 110 pounds. If we all can do it, so can you. Call 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com.
That's 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and there's so many cool products that are on the line at Cycles of Jacksonville. Showroom is Atlantic and Regency, and we're talking, Greg, you've got from any level of price point, the experienced rider to the inexperienced on-road, off-road.
We've got it. We've got ATVs, we've got motorcycles, we've got scooters, we even have the new Honda boats. We've got something for everyone.
Don't forget about the boat line from Honda. It's all right there, waiting for you. Atlantic and Regency or Cycles of Jacksonville's Facebook page.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit Bowdeneye.com for a free screening. Bowden Associates, keeping the first coast focused.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins. Fighting for your rights since 1975.
Getting a pool? David Garrard here. I just did. But before they dug, I called Clearwater Irrigation, and they capped off all my sprinkler lines so the pool company could just dig away.
Then when your pool's finished, we'll install your sprinkler system back to full coverage.
And now my backyard oasis is getting watered beautifully.
And maybe then, Dave, I could take another quick dip.
Bigger swimming trunks, John. Much bigger.
Clearwater Irrigation.
And drainage, too.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
My takeaway is that Trevor Lawrence just needs a little bit more time. And by a little bit more time, I mean 1 year. Let him get his feet settled with Liam Cohen. Hopefully Liam Cohen has the juice. I mean, we talk about what he's done with other quarterbacks and Baker Mayfield kind of being his prize possession in terms of what he can do with the quarterback. If he can do that with Trevor and they win the division, I think you got something there. I think you got it. But give Trevor some sense of stability. That's what he needs right now. Eric on the west side wanting to talk about Trevor Lawrence and the job in which he is doing. Eric, what's going on?
Good evening. How you doing?
Good, man. You?
I'm doing all right. I agree with everything that you just said about Trevor. Coming into this offseason, both Liam and the GM both stated that we wanted to make Trevor better. This is about Trevor. And then my only concern is that you traded away both his two biggest assets in Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram. So my take was, how can a person get better if you take him by two valuable pieces? You know?
Yeah.
And then another take is, not only this season is going to be pressure on Trevor, it's going to be pressure on Liam Cohen as well, because we really wanted Ben Johnson, and we couldn't get him because of Balky. And he went to Chicago.
Right.
So he got to look at, okay, Chicago, they made a move to get the center from Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
They got some more veteran pieces on the O-line,
Mm-hmm.
and they're starting to cook up as well. So we got to just hopefully De'Ami Brown, hopefully he come in, because I'm pretty sure when Kurt came in, we all had question marks about him signing that, and he lived up to it. So hopefully he can do the same as well. Hopefully he can come up and shine. But Parker Washington, can he? I hope so. Brayton Strange, can he? I hope so. So that's my take, man.
Eric, thanks for the phone call. Yeah, I think this is just going to come down to a thing of trust at the end of the day. I think this is now a trust. I think everybody was shocked when you let go of both, when you let go of Evan Ingram and you let go of Christian Kirk. I think one of the two, you thought it may happen. And Christian Kirk, I guess there were trade rumors there that if he hadn't got injured, he would have gone to Pittsburgh. You let both of them go, and you only now, at least to us, outside looking in, because we saw it last year, now all you have is Brian Thomas Jr. and who? But it seems to me that James Gladstone and Liam Cohen, they're just saying, listen, hey, we got it. Trust us. I'm willing to trust them. They're saying all the right things. They want to build this around Trevor. If you build the offensive line and you give them some more targets, there can be something there. And the track record, it seems, with James Gladstone is there as well, where he's able to draft guys that are immediate plug-and-play guys. I don't want to say every draft pick he's had has just been this immediate plug-and-play, but it does seem that the guys that have been able to make a difference, he's been a part of those drafts and in the war room with the LA Rams. Let's see if he's able to do the same thing with the Jacksonville Jaguars. If he is, I think the big year for Trevor Lawrence and the big year for Liam Cohen and James Gladstone, I think Jacksonville can breathe a little bit easier. And I don't think there's that talk of we need to draft a new quarterback, which, I mean, you're not going to do when you paid a guy $275 million. Mimi on the South Side wants to talk about Trevor Lawrence. Mimi, how are you?
Hey, RJ. It's a great show tonight.
Thank you.
And I wanted to talk about Trevor Lawrence. I think when he was first drafted, I said to myself, I asked the question, what happens if he's not the generational quarterback that everybody is expecting? He's had a lot of bad breaks with Trent Baalke not putting weapons around him, Doug Peterson throwing him under the bus, and yes, there were teammates who I didn't think supported him the way they should have. And I thought I was kind of disappointed that Christian Kirk was left go. So he's not going to be here as his good friend and supporter.
Right.
But I'm hopeful that at least that we're not going to be 4-13, and that at least he can give us the chance of getting to the playoffs or being in contention for the playoffs. I don't think, in my mind, I'm not altogether certain that he's ever going to be the generational quarterback that everybody predicted. But I'm hoping that, the interceptions, which did decrease this past year, that we're not going to see as many of them. And I'm trying to think positive for the whole outcome of all this, given everything that's going down during this season.
Thanks, Mimi, for the call. Listen, I don't think generational, I don't think that term may be used anymore. I've said it ad nauseum here on the program, but I mean, think of a guy like Vince Carter. When Vince got into the league, they were trying to pin him as the next Mike. Now, they were trying to pin a lot of guys as the next Mike. You had individuals such as Michael Finley, Kobe Bryant. And then you also look at a guy like Vince Carter, because he went to North Carolina and he's jumping out the gym, that this could be the next MJ. Now, by the time we get to the turn of the millennium, I think the comparisons died down, but he turned into a Hall of Fame player. And he was in some situations where he was the guy in Toronto as well as New Jersey, where you're saying this is a franchise guy. This can be the reason we win an NBA championship. Now, in Toronto, I think he needed a few more pieces. Tracy McGrady leaving, that hurt everything. I'm not trying to make it an NBA talk, but this is how I'm aligning Trevor Lawrence and the generational talk. If he's still a very, very good quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and let's say, imagine it with me for a second. The Jacksonville Jaguars win a Super Bowl with Trevor Lawrence as your quarterback. Generational may not be the term in which we use, but we'll say, listen, he was the, I would like to say, I don't want people attacking me if I say he wins a Super Bowl and we put him over Mark Brunell, but he did something Mark Brunell couldn't. He brought a Super Bowl to Jacksonville. Are you still going to be mad as a fan base because he wasn't the promised generational talent that made you scream to the moon when Frank Gore gets that first down and said, "We're getting Trevor"? Are you sick to your stomach still? Are you saying, hey, this guy took us to a Super Bowl and we won? Boselli believes it. Liam Cohen believes it. Shad Khan, paying him the money, extending him, believes it. This can be the guy. I'm sure there's many of you in Jacksonville that believe he is the guy. It just has to be shown now because the money's now there. There isn't going to be any trades to bring in a starter. There isn't going to be a draft pick and the top 5 picks at number 5. We're not drafting Shador, not drafting Jackson Dart to have some competition with Trevor Lawrence. No, this is on you. They feel they can show us. And show us. And I would, any day of the week, I would take Super Bowl champion over generational quarterback. You don't find that everywhere. How many generational quarterbacks are in the NFL right now? Patrick Mahomes.
Josh Allen. Maybe Lamar, and that's it.
Maybe Lamar. So 3. Everyone else we're saying is very, very good. So Jalen Hurts is not a generational talent. Very good quarterback. Brought the city of Philadelphia a Super Bowl. Now, you also had a great defense. You also was able to do things offensively. Bring that to Jacksonville. And let's say we have a very good quarterback here. Those comparisons are generational. They'll fade away. But that's going to do it for us here on the program. We're going to do this for another 2 nights here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Thanks for every one of you who have commented on our social channels on the text line and have called in. For Dylan Denmark, I am RJ Saunders. We will talk to you tomorrow at 8 o'clock.